Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Vladimir Megre presents Anastasia, a reclusive woman of the Siberian forest with timeless wisdom encompassing life, nature, and the universe. Vladimir Megre and the Ringing Cedars of Russia, Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Borolije means hello in Medo-Meri, one of the official languages of the Mariel Republic. I'm Polina. The joyful people of the Mariel Republic send you noblest wishes. Welcome to part 1 of a 2-part series entitled Vladimir Megre and the Ringing Cedars of Russia. Today we will be exploring the life and vision of Vladimir Megre, who won the Gusi Peace Prize in 2011 and has been listed by the Watkins Mind, Body, Spirit magazine as one of 100 most spiritually influential living people. The Ukrainian-born Russian author and entrepreneur is known for his best-selling chronicle series entitled The Ringing Cedars of Russia. Written between 1996 and 2010, the series introduces spiritual and healthy lifestyle concepts in an original and compelling manner. The books have been translated into over 20 languages, and more than 10 million copies have been sold worldwide in the last 20 years. Vladimir Megre presents Anastasia, a reclusive woman of the Siberian forest with timeless wisdom encompassing life, nature, and the universe. The books have inspired an ever-expanding group of adherents that explore a way of life in tune with the universal principles of balance and harmony. These readers have dedicated themselves to understanding the spiritual relationship between themselves and nature. To many, Vladimir Megre's works are a vehicle helping them realize their own innermost feelings as to what life is really supposed to be about. Concepts regarding our existence are presented with a heartfelt sincerity that millions of readers have strongly resonated with.
И большинство людей до конца дней своих не в состоянии осознать истины. Казалось бы, простой вопрос. В чем смысл жизни? Так и остается неразрешенным. А он, смысл жизни, в истине, радости и любви. Из Анастасия, книга 1 из сборника Владимира Мегре звенящие кедры России.
Vladimir Megre was born in the Chernigov region of Ukraine in 1950. His earliest years were spent under the watchful care of his grandmother. During his childhood, he would observe his grandmother as she prepared age-old remedies for the local people of their small village to alleviate their everyday ailments. The second book of the Ringing Cedars of Russia series is believed to be about Vladimir's own teenage years. He made periodic visits to a Christian monk named Father Fedorit at the Trinity Sergei Monastery near Moscow in Russia. Although he had only a few theological discussions with Father Fedorit, in retrospect, Vladimir believes he was profoundly affected by the holy atmosphere of those visits. There he had his first experiences of responsive intuition, which would be further awakened later in the Siberian taiga with the help of the spiritual guide Anastasia. From a young age, Vladimir Megre was adventurous, and at 16 he chose to leave home and live independently. He enjoyed traveling and studying photography and cinematography. 8 years later, he found himself thousands of miles from Ukraine, living in Novosibirsk on the Oby River of south-central Russia. Novosibirsk, Russia's third largest city, is the western gateway to both Asia and the expansive wilderness of Siberia. Vladimir Megre worked filming and directing documentaries for various clients. He married, had a family, and became immersed in the world of business. Buying goods, he would then transport them into the Siberian interior, even as far as the Arctic Circle via the Oby River. During these business trips, there was always time spent waiting for the cargo barges to unload. At these remote stations, Vladimir loved the freedom to wander amongst the snow-capped cedars, inhaling the sweetly fragrant air, alone in thought, away from the noise of the world. It was on one such journey that he took a contemplative stroll through the taiga and met two elderly men by the river bank. The men spoke of the vibrating cedars and how these trees, particularly their cones, have proven to possess amazing healing properties. While he originally dismissed the claims, Vladimir's thoughts kept returning to the subject. This prompted him to do some research, and he found evidence to back the men's story. Meanwhile, Vladimir Megre had become relatively successful in the business world and was president of the Association of Siberian Entrepreneurs. He was always quick to spot and explore lucrative opportunities when they arose. On his next expedition up the river, he hoped more than anything to find out more about the Ringing Cedars phenomenon. In his now famous book Anastasia, Vladimir Megre describes the amazing meeting with the hermit woman who agrees to show him the prized healing cones of the Ringing Cedars. This is the incredible beginning of the introduction to Anastasia's wisdom, which becomes the central thread of the Ringing Cedars of Russia series. Let's take a few moments to contemplate the divine within. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Vladimir Megre and the Ringing Cedars of Russia, part 1 of 2. A year after initially hearing about the ringing cedar from 2 elderly gentlemen, Vladimir Megre returned to look for them, hoping to bring some of the prized ringing cedar with him on his ship. This is when he met Anastasia.
Я провел с Анастасией на таежной полянке в месте ее обитания 3 дня. Она оказалась интересным и не совсем обычным человеком. Складывалось впечатление, что Анастасия помнит всех предков своего рода, начиная от сотворения мира, может рассказать о них в мельчайших подробностях. И через знание своих предков ей известно, как рождались и погибали разные цивилизации на нашей планете. Еще она рассказывала о древнейших притчах и обрядах, актуальных и сегодня. Удивительно, что она знает и о нашей современной жизни, не в деталях, конечно, но характеристики дает интереснее. «А на земле быть добро» эссе Владимира Мегре.
Моя знакомая и любимая Анастасия живет в сибирской тайге, глубоко в сибирской тайге. Для того, чтобы, когда она хочет есть, для того, чтобы получить пищу, ей достаточно сделать небольшой знак рукой. И белки начинают складывать к ее ногам орехи. Масса других зверей, которые мы считаем дикими и которые живут на ее территории, выполняют ее поручения. Таким людям, как Анастасия, достаточно, если они захотят скушать яблоко, им достаточно протянуть руку, сорвать яблоко и кушать. Для того, чтобы человеку, живущему в нашем современном мире, скушать яблоко, нужно встать рано утром, сходить на работу, получить деньги, потом сходить в магазин и купить это яблоко.
The time spent with Anastasia caused a profound personal transformation within Vladimir Megre. He felt that he could no longer continue with the life he had been leading. It came as a great surprise to everyone that knew him when he dramatically turned his back on the world of business to concentrate full-time on the knowledge and profound teachings of Anastasia. He had never written much before, but he was so enthusiastic to share his experience with others that he composed Anastasia with ease. This was the first of what was to become a 10-book series, all sparked by his magical encounter in the Siberian taiga forest. Initially, Vladimir Megre's book received little interest from publishers. With almost no income, he traveled on the Moscow metro, selling 1 copy at a time to anyone who would care to listen. Eventually, he found a publisher for Anastasia, which then went on to become a remarkable success. The book Anastasia is not only a personal odyssey, but a manifesto in pure natural living, proposing a scenario in which humanity returns to a Garden of Eden state by disentangling itself from the ineffective ways of the material world. Anastasia explains that only by living in accordance with harmonious universal principles can humanity finally achieve lasting peace and prosperity. Her wisdom through Vladimir Megre's books has been inspiring countless people to return to a self-sufficient lifestyle through small-scale farming of plant-based produce that is holistic, healthy, and also reconnects people with nature. Anastasia has an exceptional way of life, living totally within nature, with just a few items of clothing and dwelling in harmony with all of the forest inhabitants. Lovingly, the squirrels not only provide her with a supply of cedar nuts, but also collect berries and mushrooms for her to eat. Anastasia's state of total purity attunes her with the natural elements enabling tremendous natural powers that leave Vladimir at times overwhelmed. The series begins in the frosty wilderness of the Siberian taiga, where the wise Anastasia lives in complete harmony within her forest home. Anastasia is in tune with all living things through an inherent understanding of the forces of nature and the universe. This fascinating true story is brought to life through Vladimir Megre's compelling first-person narrative. Vladimir Megre's life and experiences are central to the development of the book Anastasia and the subsequent series. The autobiographical chronicle presents the transformation of a man embedded within ignorance of a contemporary material age into a being of humility, expansive love, and intuitive wisdom. Vladimir Megre's experience of finding God within is real, direct, and highly relevant, even while the characters that actively assist in Vladimir Megre's awakening, particularly Anastasia, may seem dreamlike and fantastical. In 2011, Vladimir Megre received the prestigious 2011 Gusi Peace Prize for Literature at a ceremony held in Manila, the Philippines.
Я первый раз приехал на Филиппины, и, конечно, здесь, что меня поразило в отношении других стран, почему-то мне показалось, что наиболее здесь приятные, добродушные и искренние люди. Я хочу сказать всем большое спасибо за очень дружеский, душевный прием здесь, на Филиппинах. И здесь, на Филиппинах, у меня родилась такая фраза, что мир такой, как мы его себе представляем, как мы можем убедить себя. Я хочу, чтобы мы себя убедили, что мир прекрасен, и такой мир сотворили.
In Anastasia, Vladimir Megre's personal spiritual development unfolds throughout the pages of this compelling tale. Reading this series of books, we are inspired by the story of one ordinary man's unraveling as he is challenged by the soul-driven radiance of Anastasia. Anastasia, who only knows truth and who lives and breathes purity, observes a special quality within Vladimir, an otherwise conventional businessman. She arranges a 3-day process in which he undergoes molecular rearrangement and experiences firsthand the underlying principles of nature. Vladimir Megre finds himself having to dispel doubt and judgment to move beyond his typically rigid and theoretical mindset. Sufficiently intrigued by Anastasia's wisdom, lightness, and apparent contentment, he endeavors to sincerely understand what many others in this world might consider a radical departure from normality. In Chapter 7, Anastasia's Ray, Anastasia talks about God.
Бог – это межпланетный разум, интеллект. Он находится не в единой массе. Половина его в нематериальном мире Вселенной. Это комплекс всех энергий. Вторая половина частичками рассредоточена на Земле, в каждом человеке. Темные силы смирятся блокировать эти частички.
Anastasia gives us much to contemplate. We'll take a brief interlude and return shortly here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Vladimir Megre and the Ringing Cedars of Russia, Part 2 of 2.
Все на земле, каждая травинка Каждая букашка, созданная для человека, имеют свои задания и предназначены для службы человеку. Множество лекарственных растений тому подтверждение. Но человек вашего мира очень мало знает, чтобы воспользоваться предоставленной ему для его блага возможностью, воспользоваться в полной мере. Из Анастасии Владимира Мегре.
The wisdom and advice presented in the pages of Anastasia covers a variety of compelling topics, from UFO technology to food production. Anastasia's insight into the human condition is aided, we learn, by her ability to observe anyone at will through the use of an inner telepathic ray, a facility, she says, that everyone possesses, and which she also encourages Vladimir to develop. In her quest to assist those who are somehow blocked by certain emotional or mental obstacles, she suggests solutions to individuals, but laments that people are often too preoccupied with mundane survival thinking, and this prevents them with receiving her telepathic advice. Anastasia places a great deal of faith in dachniki, or cottage dwellers, who practice small but extremely efficient vegetable farming, capable of sustaining a family throughout the year on a plot of no more than 600 square meters. By working in their dacha plots, people feel better and become kinder, and many live longer. In this way, she believes that dachniki can pave the way for society to become aware of how destructive the technocratic path can be. Vladimir Megre explains how modern technocracy focuses too much on artificial solutions and pulls us away from the immense potential already offered by the natural world.
Я предполагаю, что мы увлеклись технократическим путем развития и все время думаем только о том, как построить хорошую машину, и совсем забыли, что самый совершенный... Ну, все, переводи. И я думаю, что самые совершенные механизмы уже построены. Как, например, двигатель может работать на бензине, а тот двигатель, который находится в человеке, может работать буквально на всем. Я думаю, что человек, начав изучать флору и фауну, получит новый импульс развития, который неизмеримо выше, чем вот этот технократический, в котором мы живем сейчас.
In the chapter Advice from Anastasia, Vladimir Megre writes about the amazing gift of homegrown fruits and vegetables, which have the capacity to heal all manner of human illness, prevent disease, and even slow down the aging process. According to Anastasia, it's very important for the person who will eat the fruits and vegetables to grow them from seedlings, taking an intimate role in the plant's development. In this way, the plants can silently assimilate information about the person's bodily needs and heal them accordingly.
Я написал в своих книгах о том, что в ближайшем будущем все люди будут жить не в квартирах, в каменных мешках, похожих, в квартирах, похожих на каменные мешки, а в прекрасных поместьях, райских оазисах. В чем предназначение человека? Об этом очень много говорят во все времена и в разных странах мудрецы. Я хочу привести слова героини моей книги Анастасия. Предназначение человека в совершенствовании среды обитания, где под средой обитания понимается не только вот окружающая природа, но и внутренний мир человека, небо, космос, звезды, его душа. Я хочу пожелать всем филиппинцам прекраснейшей среды обитания.
The Ringing Cedars of Russia series has become a guide for a back-to-the-land movement that began in Russia for those wishing to achieve peace, harmony, and permanent sustainability, as well as to be in touch with their spirituality. The Ringing Cedars Anastasians avoid killing by adopting a plant-based diet and wearing clothes made of natural fibers. They are self-reliant and self-sufficient, living simply and abundantly, spiritually and physically fulfilled by a lifestyle that is in tune with nature. Anastasians and active readers groups and settlements can be found in Australia, the Czech Republic, Germany, Hungary, Lithuania, Russia, and the US.
Я думаю, что самое главное, что смогла сделать Анастасия, это подарить людям мечту. А когда у человека есть мечта, он начинает творить для ее достижения. И удивительно то, что эта мечта охватила, по крайней мере, много россиян. И сейчас уже десятки тысяч россиян строят прекрасные оазисы. Если мы говорим, что Бог создал все, Бог или разум создал все, травинку, цветок, то значит, он вложил часть своей души во все живое на земле. И тогда получается, следуя вот этой философии, следуя этой логике, получается, что Бог во всем. Поэтому я считаю, что любить природу – это значит понимать Бога и понимать себя. Понимать свою любимую, так как она тоже ведь часть природы. Я сам по-другому стал относиться ко всему окружающему, в том числе и к природе, благодаря Анастасии, поэтому спасибо ей, в том числе и за любовь.
We too thank Anastasia, as well as Vladimir Megre, for sharing your valuable insights and experiences through the Ringing Cedars of Russia book series, inspiring readers around the world to lead a life of love, spirituality, and harmony with nature. For more information on Vladimir Megre, please visit vmegre.com. Noble viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company today. May your lives be adorned by the glory and wonder of the divine.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/MOS.